Peace, family. This video is about a survey done recently by a young woman. She's being awarded for it, and it was basically talking about who are, by age and gender, the rudest people and who are the most polite people. And she did a sampling of about 800 some individuals, and she went into places like coffee shops, diners, service industries, etc., and just took a account of how people spoke to people that worked there, how they treated others, their friends. And what she found out doing this survey was that the rudest people were young women and older men. Adversely, the most polite people were young men and older women. And as I took that in, I kind of wanted to talk to that subject because I think I know why. Reason number one, why I believe that young women are the rudest. And some of the things that she observed was young women were saying things like, I'll take a, give me a, I want a. They weren't saying things like please, like thank you. It was very demanding, very entitled, as well as the older men. Now, the older men I could understand a little bit more, and I'll get deeper into that as we go along with this. But I believe that the modern woman in the last, 40, 50 years has made leaps and bounds in her material, in her personal and educational career, and has had a lot of success. And adversely, with all those great successes, she as an individual has become more ornery, more angry, more entitled. And if you go through any survey and ask people, do they believe younger women or older women were kinder and sweeter? And they will tell you the women from previous generations were kinder and sweeter. Now, when we talk about the most polite people, we were talking about young men. The young men were found saying things like, please, thank you, I would appreciate, etc. And you found this with older women. Now, the older women, unlike the young modern women, did not have the educational or the material success in all the gatherings, but they did have something that the younger women didn't have. Families, grandchildren, husbands, and a higher percentage and frequency. And I believe success is linked to what you view it as. Some people view it as fortune, others view it as family and connection to community, etc. But I found that very interesting. Now, older men being rude, no surprise. You're talking about the boomers. I'm thinking of guys like Frank Barone and Archie Bunker. They lived in a different era. They had to take on a lot of the weight and the stress, and men get tired too. So I can understand how older men are ornery. We see it all the time. You know, they're dealing with health issues. They just tell it like it is. So I believe with older men that kind of was natural. But I thought it was very interesting to show how younger women were the rudest individuals. And you see it all the time in society. So I'm here to tell the younger women to think and walk and act like you are part of this world. The entitled attitude, the nastiness, the belief that you are supposed to be given whatever you want, that time has a beginning and an end. And women who are older know that. They know that really the peak of your powers are probably from 18 to 27. Once they get into their 30s and their 40s and 50s, they start to understand that you got to be a little bit nicer. You got to be a little bit more sweeter. And it's a shame because really at the highest peak of a woman's power, when she should be going after men, when she should be her sweetest, her kindest, her most in tune, her least entitled, should be when she is in a position to get a long-term relationship and a mate. Unfortunately, our women spend most of that time having sex with all kind of different men, usually end up with a baby by some man that didn't want a child with them, and going to Cancun and living their best life. But when the time comes and you look back and you spent that time just wasting it, you see the fruits of your labor. You see the seeds that you've sown and what you have brought to harvest. So what I would say to those young ladies is start thinking now about how you treat people, how you want to be treated. Because you know what, baby? The perky breast, the butt, the face, all of that is going to wrinkle and shrivel up with time. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to look back and say, what do I have? What has been the harvest from the seeds I have sown? And men, we deal with that as well. So think about that. The rudest people were young women and old men. And the kindest people were young men and older women. Just a little food for thought.